Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of season two. I know we kind of cut it really short last episode, but it was running long, and I try not to do that if it's possible. So I'll work on getting it a little bit lower, so it's less, it's more easily digested, I guess. So what we are gonna do, we're gonna hit preseason predictions. We're gonna go through opening day. Um, let's check if there's anything on the waiver wire. Interesting, 25-year-old. This is kind of what they do sometimes. They just put good players or prospects on waivers. Um, I kind of play the game within its limits, and I'm not super upset. Like theoretically, like there's nothing stopping the Twins from putting him on waivers. So there's nothing stopping me from claiming him, and I don't feel bad about doing that. Christian Pache, good defensive outfielder. Yeah, a lot of these guys like theoretically, like they could be done with him and they're just, gone, right? Um Anybody else interesting here? I don't have all that much money to play with, but I'm not super upset. Is he good? His defense should be so much better than that. Yashioka, not a good defensive catcher anymore. Ali Sanchez is always a good defensive catcher, not great. There was one, I think it was out of the park 21, where he just like went off for me. Like I think most people had that situation where he just went crazy for them, but did not work out. Hasn't worked out in real life. Didn't work out in this game. Yeah, offense. Francisco Mejia. I'm good. Tony Kemp. I think I'm good. Having a captain is nice, but I think I'm good. Pitchers. Anybody interesting? Spencer Arrighetti. I think I'm good. I don't like the extreme fly ball. I don't like the low velocity. Uh, you know what? There's nothing stopping me from doing this. I have space. I can add people. Carlos Hernandez. Interesting. Not anything special. Milner. Interesting. Probably too much money. Pavetta. Presley. Way too much money, but I wonder what he would look like without that terrible changeup. He's not a bad reliever. He was pretty good last year. I don't know if I believe in that. So Pucky. Oh, I have him on waivers. I have a couple guys on waivers. Nogosic didn't make the cut. Rasinski didn't make the cut. Zapucky didn't make the cut. I hope he passes through, so that way I can throw him down on in AAA as a potential left-handed reliever if one of these guys goes down. This is pretty left-handed heavy, more than I usually run, but I don't hate it. Let's do preseason predictions. In the American League East, Baltimore, Boston, Blue Jays, Yankees, Rays. That seems to flip flop from what we're going through this season. Let's look at the Yankees real quick because they did some weird stuff. They got Danny Jansen, free agent trade. Uh, for Nestor Cortez and Chase Hampton. I guess that's a win-win. You get your starting catcher, you deal from your starting pitching depth, from a dude who's still in arbitration but getting more expensive. So I guess that's a good deal. Oswald Peraza. So they got a glut of middle infielders. Peraza, Glaber, Adames. Very interesting. Aaron Judge, obviously. Anthony Rizzo at first. Adames, Zach Neto. Um, they don't tell you. That's cool. Doesn't look like he's playing very much projected, at least, which is unfortunate. Why would you trade for him if you're not going to play him? Giancarlo Stanton will hit bombs and probably nothing else, so his contract's looking worse by the day. Uh, he's still got 1, 2, 3, 4 more years after this. That's a crazy deal. They're gonna probably look to trade him. Glaber, Abraham Almonte, Everson Pereira, top prospect. He's finally up playing center. That's pretty cool. But this team's a lot different than what they did last year. Rodon, this pitching staff is nowhere near as good. Thad Ward, Brady Singer, Trevor Rogers, Clark Schmidt. That is not a good pitching staff in this game. Patrick Corbin, why would you ever trade for him? What did you give up for him? This dude, why would you ever give up like valuable anything, even if he is free? Like that's just I wouldn't have done anything for that. No way, not me. But whatever. Bumgardner, they're just getting all these like old mid 2010s starting pitchers. What did you get for him? Okay, so you didn't give up much of anything. That looks like a real prospect. He looks like a maybe prospect. Why would you do that for Madison Bumgarner? And they retained 100%, and he's a free agent after the year. Yeah, I wouldn't have. No way, not me. So you know what? They probably should be bad. These are some questionable decisions by Brian Cashman. Yeah, Brian Cashman, questionable decisions, my friend. Anyway, I guess we know who really runs New York now. It's not the Yankees. Tampa being bad. The game doesn't really like Tampa, but I think they'll probably be better than that. They have a good bullpen. They have some good starting pitching. The lineup is maybe their issue. Wander, Jazz Chisholm. Yeah, this game just goes crazy on the trades. Andrew Taylor, that is questionable for Miami. Jazz is probably a lot better than that. His offense wasn't great, but his defense was. He's pretty good in center. Yeah, I would maybe, if I were him, I'd start him probably everywhere as a super utility guy. The offense looks like it's going to be fine. Why is this game down on them? I think they're going to be good. Very interesting. Randy with his contract, maybe that's it. It's a bigger contract for what the value he might give them. But anyway, I think they're going to be better than that. Toronto is just above average, I guess. Vlad Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk. Their offense doesn't look incredible, but I think their pitching staff also looks average, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Baltimore is really exciting. That's really cool. Getting Julio Urias really helps accelerate their timeline a bit. Young starter, Dean Kramer, Keegan Aiken, Corey Abbott. So they're like maybe a few pitchers away from really being competitive, I think. But if your top three is Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, and Cedric Mullins, wow, sorry. I think you're going to be okay. Adley Rutschman did not have a good offensive season last year, which is surprising. So we'll see what he does. Gunnar won Rookie of the Year. He was really good. Castellanos, Hayes. A lot of these guys are looking pretty good right now. So yeah, that's the AL East. Cleveland Guardians look good. Woodruff, interesting. Free agent contract. That is a good contract. They signed an extension. Okay. They traded for him at the deadline. They gave up Tyler Freeman and Jonathan Rodriguez. He looks interesting. So I think that's a good trade. You get Brandon Woodruff if you can. I tried to trade for him, but I couldn't give up anything they really wanted. Bieber, pitching staff looks stellar. Emmanuel Clase, we talked about him. Good bullpen, decent starters, young starters, which is fine. Lineup, J-Ram and Jimenez are good. Reynolds, Rodolfo Castro. Yeah, so this game, before I really touched the trading, really went crazy. Pittsburgh to the Rays. And then Tampa to Cleveland for Karnachak. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. they're gonna be good. They're gonna be really good, man. Um, and it's a pretty weak division anyway. Detroit and Kansas City are still going to be bad. Minnesota's probably going to outperform those expectations. The Angels are interesting because there's no Otani left. This pitching staff is awful. This lineup is not terrible, but not great either. This seems like poor asset management with Garrett Stubbs and Trevino. Mike Trout is going to be a stud. Nope, 10-5. That would be interesting if he gave that up. He might give it up in a few years. He's got 3, 6, 7, 6 years after this season. So towards the later end of his year, I think he might try and go to a better situation. Wilmer Flores, Didi Gregorius. This offense might be fine, but the pitching staff, as always, with the Angels is terrible. Seattle being bad. Were they bad last year? Yeah, they were really bad last year. Okay. Lineup. Julio Rodriguez, Crawford. Uh, Average to below average lineup. Pitching staff not great. Castillo, they'll probably be willing to trade. I don't have the money. That's fine. Top hitters: Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, Joey Gallo, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Aaron Judge, Kalenic, Oscar Colas. That's cool. J. Ram Jimenez, George Valera. And then pitching side: DeGrom, Woodruff, Rodon, Castillo, Cease, Christian Javier, Shane Bieber, Aaron Nola, Hunter Brown, and Shane McClanahan. Not a whole lot of weirdness going on here for the American League. In the National League, we're projected to win 99 games, and the Braves are projected to win 98. Did they do anything special this season or this offseason? The pitching staff looks like they pretty much just ran it back. Trade for Chris Sales, kind of interesting. Boston retained 90%. I tried to do a similar deal, but I think I didn't. I think they wanted something in return that I didn't feel like giving up. Yeah, so a 20-year-old starting pitching prospect for Chris Sale when you retain most of the money. I guess that's not the worst price in the world. But I think he's also, he's not good in the clubhouse, so he could tank that season for this team. And then offensively, they're really good. Matt Olson, Vaughn Grissom, Michael Harris, Sean Murphy, Acuna, Riley Albies, and they just traded for Dugo. Ozuna, his contract should be up soon. That's very. They're still hanging on to him. He didn't have a terrible year, but you want more from your DH than that. Olsen was good last year. Grissom was good. Harris was good. Murphy was good. This team is going to be a force. It's a very tough lineup. For us, we kind of hit everything. I think the pitching staff is good, and the lineup is good too. I think that's going to be another close race this year between us and the Braves. Miami, Philly, and Washington all projected to be awful. Philly's interesting because they still have some pieces. Young 20-year-old starting pitching stud Andrew Painter, Jose Alvarado. That's the extent of this pitching staff. This is going to be fun to hit against, at least, especially in Philly. Real Muto, Turner, Harper, Bohm. This offense is not terrible, but it's not very good either. So theoretically, Bryce Harper's available, right? What if you just do what if you do just for argument's sake, would you do this? If I retained a good bit. No. I think they just don't want Scherzer. What if? Who else has a big... What about, Marte? No, they want too much, which I don't blame them. I would be asking for the world for Bryce Harper too, but it's interesting that he theoretically is available. This contract is not egregious. Uh, Interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. See if he becomes available. Ooh, okay. Let's go back. Yeah, Turner, Real Muto. Those guys they should probably think about trading. He really like tails off towards the end of Sims for some reason, which is I don't think is going to happen. Oh, and he's almost a free agent, so that's cool too. Nothing will frustrate me more than the Mets going and signing James McCann instead of JT Realmuto because they thought they were pretty much equivalent. Yeah, that still bothers me. Miami, Max Mayer, good starting pitching prospect, but they moved him to the bullpen. Alcantara is going to be good, I think. Yuri Perez is probably like the best prospect in baseball right now. As a 19-year-old, right? 19? No, he was mostly 20 through last season. He was really good. So he's going to be tough. Matthew Boyd, Colin McHugh, David Robertson. Good for you for getting. That's fine. So pitching staff not great, a little top heavy. Lineup is not good anymore. They have some interesting guys, right? Like Trace Thompson's interesting. Jesus Sanchez is interesting. Gene Segura is interesting. And I don't know who this is, but wow. Who are you? Drafted in the 2022 draft in real life, first round pick. He was a good prospect, and now he is probably the starting first baseman for the Marlins. Good for you, man. That's a cool player. Yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about on Miami's roster. Washington, the other team in the division, pitching staff. Waldachuk, some decent bullpen guys, I guess. Strasburg really tailed off. He still got that albatross. You might see like a Patrick Corbin. They retain everything to get him off. Right? Let's see. What would you do? What do you want? Alvarez? No way. Yeah, they signed Carlos Carrasco, who I did try and re-sign actually, but I don't think he wanted to come here. I don't blame him. Minor league deal. Okay. I hope he pitches well. I hope he pitches well for them. Mackenzie Gore hasn't really popped. No one else really of note. I guess Joey Lucchese, old friend, in the bullpen. The lineup looks okay. C.J. Abrams looks like he's going to be pretty good. Christian Arroyo, Tyler O'Neill. How'd you get Tyler O'Neill? What happened here? And Joseph King for Trevor Williams. That seems like a bad deal, but whatever. Keibert Ruiz, Dalton Rushing. So now they got a glut of catchers. So I don't know what they do. This also seems like poor asset management with Rushing and Ruiz. So you might have to move one of them around. Top prospect James Wood. Good for you. Finally getting the. Oh, he had a cameo last year. He was fine. Alex Call, Nolan Jones. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about here. I think they'll be probably better than Philly and Miami. Washington, just because I think they have probably better pieces. The Brewers still projected to be good. Rowdy Tellez, Omar Narvaez, Austin Meadows. This is a good, deep offense. Nothing special, but good and pretty good. Corbin Burns, Williams, DL Hall for nothing. Surprising. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be fine. No one else really in the Central again this season, I think. The Cubs look like they're going to be okay. The Cardinals look like they're going to be okay. Blake Snell and Trinan kind of help, but again, they're going to be fine, not great. Cardinals. Arenado, Edmund. This is a pretty good offense, right? I think that's pretty good. Old friend Luis Guillorme playing short for them. I hope he has an all-star season. Pitching staff not great, I guess. Maybe that's why they were willing to give up O'Neill, because they have no good starting pitchers for Trevor Williams. And then out west, the Dodgers look like they're going to be phenomenal. Again, this is a pretty good pitching staff, pretty good young starters. Frankie Montas free agent, traded for this dude, nothing and nothing. Yeah, a lot of these deals are like steals. Walker Buehler pitched in 65 innings last season. I think he was coming back from what, Tommy John? Tommy John, yeah. So he looks like he'll be good again. Bullpen could probably use some help, but that's my only complaint about the pitching staff. Offense looks special. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. Top catcher, Diego Cartaya. Will Smith is good. They give him a big deal? No, he's still arbitration eligible. So he'll catch. Did they move him around yet? No. He could move around. He could play some corner. He could play some first. That's what they usually do with their guys. They kind of move them around and make them a little bit more versatile. But yeah, when your top three are Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith, you're gonna be fine. And then let's talk about the Padres, who look like they're gonna be good. Pitching staff: Hader, Glasnow, Musgrove, Darvish. They probably need one starter, I guess. Getting Glasnow helps, but he's always hurt. Oh no, I'm thinking Tyone. He's not always hurt. Glasnow's fine. A whole lot of nothing. It's a pretty good deal for them. And Hader's gonna be fine. Maybe the bullpen's not great either, but again, offense kind of like the Dodgers with Smith, Betts, and Freeman. You have Soto, Tatis, Machado, Xander, and then these guys are all good too. Jose Siri in center is a really good special defensive center fielder, so you don't need a whole lot offensively from him if you got these guys carrying the load a little bit. They're playing Xander at first, which is kind of cool. That would not be my decision. I would probably be putting Burleson at first and Tatis in right, and then Xander at short. Or maybe like even Xander at second and Ha-Seong Kim at short is probably what I would do. But that's me. I think they're leaving value on the table here. And Juan Soto signed a big deal, 348 over 8. I don't know when he did that. This is news to me, but in May of last year. So he didn't even want to test the waters. I think he could have gotten more money than that. But get your money, bro. Manny Machado was not good offensively last year, but he was a really good defender. So he might be like that Francisco Lindor type where the defense just carries the value. And then so that's what I would predict. But they have him hitting third, which might not be the best idea. Anyway, top hitters: Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll, Ezekiel Tovar, Tatis, Al Thomas, Pete. They're projecting Pete for 43 home runs, which I think they projected something similar last year until he got hurt. So we just need him to be healthy this year. Acuna, Meadows, Sal Frelick, which is kind of cool. Trey Turner, who they have playing second. It's probably smart. Get him off short. Corbin Burns pitching, Glasnow, Kyle Harrison, Max Fried, Walker Buehler, Edwin Diaz, Logan Webb, Devin Williams, Raisel Iglesias, and Brandon Hughes. That's interesting. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so no Ohtani anywhere, which is surprising, but we'll see. Anybody stick out offensively? Nimmo, that's cool. Led the entire spring training in offense. Kyle Schwarber went to the Royals. What happened here? William Fleming? Whole lot of nothing. And they didn't retain much of his money. That's why. He's not gonna hit very many home runs in Kansas City. He was He hit 38 home runs for a 99 OPS plus, so that's kind of all he does. But home runs are good, right? He was good in spring. Yeah, okay. Pitching leaders, anything special here? Tyler McGill in innings, Otani in innings. Richard Bly took 3 losses in spring training. He's somebody who is interesting. Very interesting player. Yep. Okay. McGill in strikeouts, Otani in strikeouts. McGill had a great spring. Looks like. So yeah, that looks like the predictions. Schedule wise, we're on a big road trip to start the season, which is unfortunate being defending champs. But we play 4 in Miami, 3 in Chicago. Then we have our home opener in Miami a week later. So yeah, a lot of road trip games to start. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 home games in the first month. We're gonna be on the road a lot, uh, which is fine. Get them out of the way early. Get all of your homestands in. Then we have a big homestand. Um, logistically, this travel wouldn't necessarily make sense, but it's a video game, and travel doesn't affect video game players. Yeah, I like that a lot of these games are on the road to start. This is a pretty home heavy month of July. This looks fine. And September. Yeah, okay. I think the road trips are just all stacked together. I think that's how this works right now, where they're all just like road game, road game, road game, road game. And then October. Oh, we play into October. That's pretty cool. With a big series against Atlanta. I like when the game does that. Play 3 games against Atlanta at home to end the season. Preceded by 3 games against Miami, and then oh man, yes. So this whole last week, if things are close, we play 4, 7 of our last 10 against the Braves. That will make for a fun end of the season if we're all in it, right? All right, so we got 3 against Atlanta here. We got 3 against Atlanta here. What about in July? We don't touch Atlanta. Do we not see them until July? Yeah, we don't see Atlanta until July. Wow. Okay. We get a lot of Washington and Philly to start. So the early part of the season looks manageable. We got some softballs in Miami and Chicago, Colorado. Texas is probably going to be good. San Diego's probably going to be good. San Francisco is going to be bad. Washington. So this is an easy first month. Easy second month, too. Boston, Detroit, Arizona. So it's a softball first half. So I think what would be ideal here is if we start the season kind of going crazy a little bit and build up some wins. So that way, this tougher second half of the year where we play San Diego and the Dodgers and Colorado right before the break, we play Minnesota here, we play Baltimore back to back. These are going to be tougher games. So if we can rack up the wins early, I think we'll be set. So we're going to call it here. I'm going to play through opening day because I still haven't figured out how to play through opening day correctly. So we're going to stop it here. We'll sim ahead, and we'll figure out where our next stopping point is. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.